Donald Trump is threatening to sue the New York Times over a story quoting two different women as saying that Trump, at different times years ago, made utterly inappropriate advances. The paper's response is, sure, bring it on. I don't think we're ever going to see this lawsuit. For one thing, it would keep the story going for months and months and months. And for another, it would open up Donald Trump to discovery and depositions. But it has changed the nature of the campaign, and it's not just the New York Times. There are multiple women now coming forward with stories about Trump. The People magazine writer, in a first-person account, describes in her words what happened when she was interviewing Trump and his wife Melania 11 years ago at Mar-a-Lago for a story, a kind of a loving and touching story about their first wedding anniversary. This woman says that Trump kind of pulled her into a room, pushed her up against the wall, and kissed her and said, "We're going to have an affair." You know that, don't you? Now, Trump is denying that. And at a rally, he attacked the People magazine writer. He attacked the New York Times. In a statement, he's talking about coordinated character assassination. Let's go back to the Times story for just a minute. The paper got both of these women on the record. Now, the question is, this incident on a plane that one woman says where Donald Trump, she was seated next to him, he started groping her and put his hand up her skirt. According to the woman, this was more than 35 years ago. The other woman talking about meeting him in Trump Tower about 11 years ago, and he suddenly kissed her on the lips. So why is this coming out now? Is that a fair question? Is there a coordinated aspect to this? And on the other hand, if you kind of dismiss it and say, well, this is old stuff, and who knows if they're telling the truth, both women in the New York Times story, it says at the bottom of the story, are Hillary Clinton supporters, then how do you then turn around, if you're sympathetic to Donald Trump, and say, but you know, these stories about Bill Clinton and what happened in the 80s and 90s with Paula Jones, Jennifer Flowers, Juanita Broderick, Kathleen Willey, those are really important stories to consider, even though it's Hillary Clinton's husband, but we shouldn't consider the allegations of women against Donald Trump. The problem is all of this is sending the media and the campaign in general, and probably the next debate, into a kind of a tabloid territory where we're getting further and further away from discussion of jobs and taxes and healthcare and terrorism. Perhaps this was inevitable. This is kind of an outgrowth of the Access Hollywood tape, in which Donald Trump boasted about grabbing women by the genitals and other things because he's a celebrity. Anderson Cooper asked him at the last debate, did you ever actually do these things? And Trump said no. Well, here come some women who say that he did. Now, I don't have any way of judging the credibility of these women and whether they are either inventing or embellishing these stories. I would wonder why they would come out now with these accusations. But on the other hand, when you listen to them, they sound like they were genuinely shaken. So it kind of sets up a challenge for Trump, who needs to fight this off, and mostly he's done it by denying it and attacking the media outlets that are publishing these pieces, and also a challenge for the media. How much oxygen do we give this? How seriously do we take it? And if you are going to make a very big deal out of these women accusing Donald Trump of sexual misconduct, then how can you then say it's not fair game for Trump or anyone else to bring up the, in some cases, confirmed sexual misconduct of Bill Clinton when he was president or governor, and in some cases disputed sexual allegations? All of which is making me wonder, this has got to be the ugliest campaign ever.